Hi guys! How are you today? Welcome back to my channel, Adventures in America. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn and I'm a dual citizen of the United States and the Philippines. Today we are going to talk about the free quarantine hotels for all returning Filipinos. The President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, recently announced that the Philippine government will be providing free quarantine hotels for all returning Filipinos. Currently, only overseas Filipino workers or OFWs can avail of the free quarantine hotels in the Philippines. These overseas Filipino workers can register through the OWA Oasis program, so they can be provided like free hotel accommodation and transportation. And also they needed to register for balikpinas.ph for COVID testing. Now the other types of passengers are non-overseas Filipinos or returning overseas Filipinos. This could be Filipinos who are studying abroad or they have like a student visa, or Filipino tourists and coming back to the Philippines, or some of them could be immigrants in a foreign country or dual citizens. So if you are a former Filipino citizen, so let's say you are a naturalized US citizen, you cannot be considered a returning Filipino for purposes of getting a free quarantine hotel in the Philippines if this program will push through. Now, where will the government get its funding to provide free quarantine hotels for all returning Filipinos? If you would remember, the President of the Philippines was granted emergency powers through the Bayanihan 2020 Act, or HIL as one, and he was granted emergency powers for the national health emergency. It was issued on March 23 of 2020. Now, the Philippine government said that the funding will be taken out of this Bayanihan Act, which is already became a law during the pandemic, and they will also get funding from the DSWD, or Department of Social Welfare and Development. If you would remember, sometime in November of 2020 until February 2021, the government imposed a travel ban against several countries, including the US. And during that time, the Philippine government provided free quarantine hotels for all Filipinos coming from the list of countries included in the travel ban. So this program of providing free quarantine hotels for Filipinos abroad, it is not actually entirely new. However, during that time, when the government provided a free quarantine hotel for Filipinos, it was only for a short-term period, maybe like 1 or 2 months. And then the selection of hotels are just a few hotels. I remember because I've been doing the travel updates starting July of last year, 2020. And then during that time, the government provided free quarantine hotels for Filipinos abroad, but it was during the travel ban. So there are a lot of Filipinos who wanted to go home in the Philippines around December, and the government provided them an option to either avail of the free quarantine hotel by the government, or they can pay or choose their own hotel or shoulder their own hotel expenses. And during that time, there were only a few select hotels by the government offered to returning Filipinos. And these hotels, there are actually 2 hotels. I remember there was a comment from my video that an overseas Filipino worker, or maybe a returning overseas Filipino, posted a comment that he was able to avail of this free quarantine hotel during that time around December. And I remember there are only 2 hotels. One is Nice Hotel, and it's located in Monumento or Caloocan, and the other one is in Batangas. So there are only a few select hotels during the time, and most Filipinos would rather pay for their own hotels for comfort and convenience and to avail of the best or comfortable amenities according to their needs. Now, there are other options for returning overseas Filipinos. Either you can pay for your own or avail of these quarantine hotels offered by the government for free, and it is your choice. However, if you are a Filipino and you have your own family traveling with you, either you have a foreign spouse or foreign children, then what would be the government's criteria for those who can be qualified to avail of this? I think the government will impose maybe several restrictions before you can even avail of this, or they will require you to provide proof of your Filipino citizenship, and also if you are traveling with your families, because it will clash with their one room or one adult policy per room. So the government will have to provide several rooms for each of the adults traveling together, and it might not be convenient enough if the government will just assign you to different rooms in different hotels if you are just traveling as one family. So I would really not depend on this program of the government, because I know free is not always the best for your family. However, if you are short on budget and money is really tight, especially if you are going to the Philippines during an emergency, or if you have a family member who is sick or dying or has an illness, then you might be able to avail of this free quarantine program or free hotel from the government. Another consideration is that your flights can be delayed, or you have like a flexible flight. So this program may not be there when it's time for you to go to the Philippines. So it could be that the timing is not perfect to avail of this program, or the dates may not be available for you during the time that the program is in effect. So it's not really entirely good to depend on this program of the government so you can have a free hotel. So I would suggest that do not depend on this program, because first, the program could be temporary, and second, you may not always qualify, and third, you may not have the best hotel that you can avail, and fourth, you have like other family members with you when traveling, and number five, it is possible that the quarantine requirements may be different by the time you travel in the Philippines. So why can't the government just scrap these free hotels for returning Filipinos and just let them do a home quarantine? So the government would not have to spend money or provide funds for this, and that funds that could be used for providing free quarantine hotels for returning Filipinos could be used for some other benefits, such as free COVID test for all returning Filipinos, or free transportation or food during their stay. Let me know your thoughts on this, and if you haven't liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel, and if you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if you recently traveled in the Philippines, please post your travel experience. And for everything else, please post your comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you guys for supporting my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.